live, Pierre.
Welcome back to another early edition of the Hockey Nation Live Show. This is your co-host, Coach Frenchy, directly from South Florida, where is sunshine. I don't know where the storm is, but nothing happening in the here. It looks like I just watched the practice in Tampa, Michael. It's sunshine over there. And then nothing happening. It's like crazy. But anyway, we have to go all the way to find a co-host to the West Coast, somewhere between Texas, Mexico, and maybe Hawaii. Mr. Michael Devellano.
Good morning, Pierre. I'm excited. It's Game 5 tonight, the Montreal Canadiens versus Tampa. And we've got lots of people already joining us. Adam says good morning to everyone. We have Go Caps saying good morning and yo.
Adam was saying is back in the house.
Yeah, Go Caps is back. And then we have Nicola's joined us, so he says hello. And Go Habs Go. Thanks for joining us in the morning, Nicola. Alexis is here, and this is probably the time of year that he loves.
We have the scout in the house today. Alexis back in the house today with Nicola. Always, we have to mention Nicola is really a teenager. And he's always there in the morning, the night. He support us, support Frank, and I see him on the other platform, like in French place, and it's great to see. We never mention a lot of those guys like Nicola or Gators or NHL usually or Slide. Those people are the regular one. Adam become really now the one with Yamo and Seven, everything like that, they become the really the big one support. So I just want to mention them. Thank you so much. And also Brian with Minnie and everybody else. So if we forgot you, it's not because we ignore you, we know, but we cannot mention everybody. But thanks to be here this morning on a beautiful Wednesday, July 7, 2021. And July 7, Michael, it reminded me like, oh my God, maybe 40 years ago. I got my first accident on bike.
Oh, no. Like a motorcycle?
No, it was just like a stupid kid, 13 years old, tried to accomplish, what's the guy that got all the...
BMX?
And now Scott Neville. What was the name of the guy? Great skates, go all the way in the air. Like
I can't remember the
Scott, like Evil. What was the... He established all the record in the world. So anyway.
Okay.
So I have a big hill in Montreal, and then I just want to go all the way up to down fast I can on bike, and I don't know. I apply some.
Oh no!
And I scratch everything I can scratch on my body. It's just like July 7th. It just remind me since I was 12 years old. So I just realized this morning when I said July 7th, I said, "Oh, that's 3 already." Anyhow, it's not about this today. By the way, I just finished my pre-game video. Just get out like 5 minutes ago. So it's going to be on the YouTube channel, Hockey Nation Live Show. So you can see the pregame of Coach Frenchy. You can see his prediction of the game number 5 and why and how the Montreal can win, but how the Lightning is going to win. And at the end of the day, don't forget to subscribe to the show and click on the likes. And finally, any comments you want to add on that show, you can join us at any time. So it's all about the marketing promotion. I'm done to talk no more.
That's all right. We're excited about growing. We want to get bigger, obviously. It's a tough time of year because it's the summer and we know there's a big holiday, so things change up a little bit. But it is Game 5 tonight, so...
Evil Knievel. Here we go, Adam. You got it.
Oh, it was Evil Knievel. Okay, that's what I thought. Yep. Adam brings up always like these things that we didn't bring up, but they bring back Christian Wolanin on a 1-year extension.
Yep.
I actually like Christian Wolanin, Pierre. Like, I thought he looked good in Ottawa. He's a better skater than I thought.
It's like, his defense number 7, 8, right? So you have a protection or a safety cap, something happening. You get him under $1 million. He can become for me another with time and maybe another Jordy Ben for the. That title players like you can be better on defensive side. You be physical at some point. He's still 26,
5 or 6, like he's a 20.
That's right there. So I think it's like with all the COVID-19, he's already back there. Worst case, it's a 2-week contract anyway, so he can send back at home. on the American Hockey League. So I think for me, it's another player you can develop something
Absolutely.
happen. It's a little bit like Adam from the Vegas. They have like Olden, 33 years old right now. Olden, go around from Montreal to Colorado and everything like that. So my point is like you get those kind of players inside of your organization if ever something happening. And I think they trust him. I think he's not like Michael said, a bad players.
No.
So I think it's a good signature for them. They have it. They got trade for nothing. Honestly, the deadline was a pick 6-7, I believe. So I think it's a good way.
Yeah, he was a 4th-round pick. So his dad played in the NHL for a long time. Craig Wolanin. If he played today, he would probably have a hard time because he wasn't a very good skater. But Christian's a pretty good skater. Like, he's much more fluid than I thought. He doesn't add a lot of offense, but I think he's a good 6-7 type guy, and he can help them out. And exactly. I think Adam's point, we will see a lot more of these.
Definitely. You're going to get again that kind of Michael contract, COVID-19, but also not because of COVID-19. Also, Michael, it's like back, like everybody guys back like 3-4 years ago in NHL. And it was about like this. It was like in 2020, the salary cap will be at 81 million. Then it's going to go to 83 million. Then it's going 85 and then 89. And then you give those contract perspective the next 4 or 5 years, the money is going to get more money to salary cap. So it's going to be fine. But it's not happening anymore. It's going to be flat for the next 3 years. Now, they have to deal about that, and that's where we're going to get a little bit more those deal at 2 ways or a contract under $2 million because they don't have no money. Yeah, and it's not like a bad decision for the coach, for the GM, because he gave too much money. Nobody knew this 3 years ago, Michael. Like if you ask some GM get 8, 10, 12 years, 8 years contract, they will think twice now to do that. I think right now they cannot go over 5-6 years, at least an exception on the rules.
It's going to be interesting. I think it'll be a very different offseason. I think we're going to see a lot of people trying to shed salary. So they're going to be moving contracts around. It's going to be a haves and have-nots maybe for the first time, because generally there's very good parity because of the hard cap. But I think a lot of teams are going to be thinking of going to the floor, not the ceiling. Right? They'll look at the minimum versus the max. And I know Coyotes are like that. And speaking of the Coyotes, Alexis brings up the Alan Heppel hire. So he was hired as the director of pro scouting. We know I think there's 2 roles they were looking to hire for, Pierre. One was a Quebec scout or an Eastern scout, and then one was the director of pro scouting. So Alan, he comes from Colorado, and he was actually, I think, a director of scouting there maybe.
Yep, he's been there for over 15 years in this organization. He grew with them. He gone for the bottom from like amateur scout to pro scout, the director scout. He's the guy right now pick up all those guys like Mekar and Bayram and then New Hook. And that's those 5-7 years he's been there. He have a great resume in hockey about scouting, everything like that. So I think, well, be honest with you, 2 things I can see. First, this is a great move from Arizona, first of all, right?
I think so.
Secondly, I think you have something close with Torini over there. I think that's the second thing there. Thirdly, I think he got more money, what he expect maybe, and that changed him. And he's not young, so he's going to be preferred to be in the sun and to be in the cold and in the snow. But that's just me. But listen, this is a great another move like Buffalo did a couple of days ago. This is a great move. Congratulations for Arizona to do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, we know because of all the incident with the previous GM, they don't have a first-round pick, so that's kind of unfortunate. But he'll get started next year, and his other picks will be very important. I think their last draft was a complete disaster anyway, because they had that pick that was like had a lot of controversy, and they basically end up releasing the first guy they picked. So he's got his work cut out for them. I see them kind of retooling a little bit, keeping the young guys and trying to figure things out.
Yeah, they rebuild that team like nothing they have, right? So he starts from 0 to go all the way up. He will going to have like new people join the team as a scout. Every time that we're going to see that for sure. So welcome, Joseph, Glenn, and also Brad Marchand. Maybe hopefully he's not in the bar still over there.
Yeah, hopefully you're sobered up.
He's out of there for sure. But the Monkey Boy, welcome aboard. He's the man of the South Florida Monkey. We have two kind of monkey. We have Icy Monkey and we have the Bud the Monkey. So
right. We got two
different people, but they are still in the family of the monkey.
Greenland buys USA for 22 cents Canadian. Interesting. I don't know how that works. Heppel's going to pick a gem. Well, he's not going to pick to the second. So yeah, he'll have to figure out. But yeah, hopefully he'll pick. I'm sure he'll pick someone. He knows players very well.
It'll be interesting. He's not going to change a lot this year, right? But he's going to be interesting for the year after that. The only thing is interesting this for me is the timing where he knows exactly what Colorado is going to do. Or he knows a lot of stuff what's going on with Colorado, and now he's going to Arizona. I know they try to be professional, but he know already what he learned with Colorado for the last 12 months. So it'll be interesting about that.
Brad says he's in a hotel and he can't wait for game 6, but we're in game 5 still. So we got to get past game 5 to have a game 6.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So some of the news that was out today, we can maybe touch on this last, but this one's a player that I know from the GTHL, and I was really happy to see him get an opportunity to play because it looked like a lot of the guys that are 1992 birth years that haven't caught on, they're getting up there in age. Scott was probably the top 1992 goalie out of Toronto, played in the OHL. He's never really been able to stick in the NHL, but he had some good moments last year. He got a couple shutouts, I think.
And you have to shout out at 383. Listen, he took advantage of the COVID-19 situation. What a goaltender. I don't think he's going to be back in NHL. But, he got that chance, that opportunity last year. So he took it. He played 14, 15 games. He was going to fight for the backup goalie behind Blackwood. Yeah. But, I was scared he was going to be back in, I think is it Albany or Hershey? Them they are. So they're going to get, two-way and good money for them to get 375 in the EHL if it ever happened there.
I mean, he's shown he's not going to be a top goalie. He'll bounce back and forth, but he's shown at moments he can steal games, and that's always been his hallmark. Like at every league, he figures out a way to win. He doesn't necessarily have the consistency that you would want, but he can go on streaks where he can be very, very difficult to beat. And
it could be a late, but you see him like regular. I don't see it, but to get up and down where he can get those stuff like that.
Boston can't beat him. He's an interesting person, like an interesting goalie. We've had him on various teams when he was younger, and he's just a guy that the guys really always trust. And there's certain goalies like Binnington was another one. You would know, hey, if he gets hot, he's going to steal some games. So sometimes players respond to that. So I'm glad that he gets another contract. The other news, and I don't know why, I guess this is news because the initial report was Owen Power first of all, he's saying, he's going to go back to college along with Matt Benner, which I think is ridiculous that you would announce that. But because he's an 02 player, and so is Benner, so they're a year older already. It feels like this is a shot at Buffalo because then he says, I've met with every team but Buffalo. And so now it's news that he's actually meeting with Buffalo. Do you see this?
Well, it's just a principle what's going on with all the draft. Everybody interview everybody left and right. So I'm not worried about that part. He's going to be back in Michigan, and I don't see Buffalo would pick what they think is the best one for them. And I don't know. It's like for me, it's like everything touch Sabres right now. Just go over it.
It's funny because you watch Kevin Adams, and I think he's well spoken. He thinks things out. I don't think he made some aggressive moves last year. He didn't make an aggressive move in net, which I thought was the only real mistake, and I think that really bit them. And they didn't make a change in coach, which I actually thought at the time. First of all, they had the most expensive coach in the NHL for the least results, like that ratio. And I like Ralph Kruger as a person, and I respect what he did in Switzerland, but it just seems obvious that should have, if he had made those other two moves, that would have been smart. So I think he'll learn from that, and then he's just got a bunch of drama to deal with. It's just unfortunate. Hopefully this is not one more dramatic piece that he has to keep dealing with.
Quicker to trade quicker to get out Skinner, and quicker to go and sign up Reinhardt.
You think
and then after that, get what he get in return, and then go with Ristolainen out, and then keep Ullmark. I think that team will be back like what it should be, and that will help him quicker.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one because it doesn't even sound like Eichel's got a hernia. It sounds like he's got a herniated disc. That's what's coming out, and that's a tricky injury. And I can see why they would want a conservative treatment to try to get it back in place, and it takes time. So that might make it really tough to trade him right now. I don't know. Like, there's some risk there. That's not a great injury to have, and he's not that old. So I don't know. We'll see. He might have to wait. He just might have to wait. It'll be interesting to see if he can re-sign Reinhardt. I thought Reinhardt playing at center was a bit of a revelation. Like, he's a very good centerman.
Yeah.
So I think that was all positive, but they've got some challenges ahead of them. Have the Pagulas offered you any jobs? Oh, so many jobs, bud. Kim and Terry always pop on, and there's meetings apparently and offers, but I don't know. Nothing comes of it. It's kind of weird. The other news that was interesting that came out was that the Kraken announced that they hired their assistant coaches. One being Jay Leach, who's been around for a while, and then Paul McFarland, who coached. He was an assistant coach in Toronto with Hackstall. So I thought that was interesting. I think he ran the power play maybe in Toronto for a while there. But what do you think of these hirings?
Paul McFarland is a long run in hockey. Whatever he's young, he's been like a high professional. Was with Florida Panthers a couple of years. He was right now at that moment the GM and the head coach of the OHL team. I don't remember which one. Kitchener, maybe. I don't know exactly which one. He got like fired last year by the Toronto. He did not renew his contract, and then he make his contact with Dave Ostal with when he was working together at Toronto. That's really the connection they got together, really there. And then Jay Leach is a long-time assistant coach with the Boston Bruins, I believe. And so I think that's what's happening. So maybe an OJ.
I think he. I'm just looking at. I didn't realize he was with Kingston. They've had a revolving door in Kingston, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
he was named as general manager and the coach in Kingston. So the Kingston Frontenacs. Good morning, Grega. Thank you for joining us. And good morning to Mets fan, by the way. I wanted to make sure I acknowledge you. So
Mets fans, do you believe a Mets fan is a Rangers fan, a Devils fan, or an Islanders fan?
I would assume he's like a Rangers fan if he's a Mets fan, but
really,
I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know. Honestly, I can ask you this because I have no clue. I don't know. Like, I could tell you it's an Islanders, but I have no clue really about that one over there.
Is in the chat. And then Jay Leach, he's been around. They're both younger coaches, so it's nice to see them get an opportunity. The more I think about it, I like the Hackstall move. I think it's a little off the board, but it's not like he has no experience. He's coached 4 really good years. If you look at his record, now he's bringing in young coaches that indicates maybe he wants to be innovative and give guys a chance. And this might be a real good progressive bench.
Well, you have experience behind that. Jay Leach and being he's always been the good thing. They've been always both assistant coach. We found that McFarland with Panthers, who was a competition coach. Every time that he came with Bob Bonner, every time that. But so I think it's pretty good overall.
I think so. I think they're shaping up. Everything that Ron Francis has done, he's brought in really experienced people for the most part, and it feels like he's a very gentlemanly guy, and I think he's made good moves. I think he's brought in competent people. Some people kind of question the one move with Ricky Olczyk, but I think he's an experienced hockey guy. I don't know. I think that they're doing the right things, and I believe that they'll probably have a good group there that all work well together. It seems like he has a good feel for it.
Yeah.
All right. So the other news that was maybe not news, but there was a comment from Luke Hughes, who's kind of rated anywhere from 4 to 10 in the upcoming NHL draft. And we know his brother Jack Hughes went first overall to the New Jersey Devils. I thought Jack had a real good second year last year, made good progress, got a lot stronger, and I just see upside for him. Luke says that he would be excited to join his brother at the Devils. Do you think this would be a good move if he's available at number 4 for the Devils?
If he's open, they would get him.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. At least someone like Edmondson, he may be there or someone like that. But if it's like William Eglum is not picked, maybe they will go there. But if they have a chance to make Luke Hughes, they will get Luke Hughes.
Well, because you mentioned, William Eklund, and we know that his best friend is Alexander Holtz, and Holtz is the sniper that New Jersey drafted the prior year. So that could also be a really interesting opportunity. They've got two guys there that would actually be interesting fit. So I could see them going the Eklund route, but they don't really need another centerman, do they? They might. I mean, Eklund can play wing, but I think long term he's better at center, maybe.
For what I believe, Power, Buffalo, Krakens go with Bernier. And then Anaheim, that's what my question is. Do Anaheim, they go back another defenseman, what they go believe more like Ed Vincent could be the plus, or they said, no, we're going to get Big Grass and Eglum together. And that would facilitate the answer from the Devils. Say, okay, Eglum is going down over there. Let's get Luke Hughes over that. That will now open the door for Detroit after that. So wait a minute. Now we have maybe a chance to get Edvinson. I think that will be the pick after that.
It's very possible because, I mean, Detroit needs a lot of stuff, right? Like they definitely need a top goaltender prospect. Detroit needs defenseman. Roenick's good, but I think he's more of like a number 2 than a number 1. Although he produces well offensively, but certainly getting a Luke Hughes or an Edvinson would be really good. I don't think Brandt Clark would be a great fit there. I really am tempted, though, by the Wallstead move for Detroit. But if you look at Luke Hughes, does he make it past the Ducks? Like, do you think the Ducks go D or forward?
I don't see that, but because this is really, I don't know which one you get this, but I think that, now the Ducks not looking for Hughes anymore.
No.
I don't see Hughes to get there, honestly. I think the Ducks, they will go, if you have a chance to put the Edvinson or the defenseman like him, he will get there, or they will get William Eglum. I really believe Eglum now is going to be the top 3 over there.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. Yep. So, I mean, I think any of these guys have kind of bounced around. It's interesting that Edmondson here has showed a 10th. I think the My NHL draft is like a combination of rankings from different sites. And then the draft order is from Tankathon. So it's kind of like an amalgamation of different ratings, and you see guys bounce around in this draft quite a bit, like on this site anyway. So, the more I watch Benners, I do think that he's probably better than Gunther at this point. But Gunther's a little younger, so I can see where Gunther would drop. Gunther doesn't feel as fancy, but he can really shoot the puck. Benners has a lot of speed and seems to be able to shoot the puck really well. So, yeah, I guess that would make sense that those are the top 2 if Powers and Owen, I keep calling Powers, but Owen Power and Benner go 1 and 2. And then
my feeling right now, from what every time I follow right now for the last 10 days, is I believe now the 2 goaltenders is going to drop lower.
Maybe. You think Casa? Well, that would be good because if they can get the Edmonton goalie in Detroit, that would solve a lot of problems. They could go for a defenseman at 6 and then come back and grab or an Eklund. Like Eklund, they need a lot. I mean, they need talent on forward and D and in net. They have no top prospect in net, so it's going to be interesting. Good morning to Jen Sutton, who's joined us. Nazem Kadri's still pissed over a playoff suspension. Really? Well, get over it.
Yeah, it was the news about that on the. He talked about this on TSN or Sportnet.
Sure he did.
I think they will. Here's what I'm thinking with it. They will sign back Gruber and Lestegard. They will try to trade Ketri and let go Sad, and then go maybe a bigger UFA players on this part, or they will try to negotiate to keep Ryan Kreese a trade with the Seattle Kraken. Um, I believe I'm not. This is a long shot. I'm talking to you, Michael. They
Yeah.
will ask to Kraken. They will give the second round pick Kadri to the Kraken, and they will get back a pick to give a chance to keep Graves return.
Oh, Ryan Graves.
Yeah.
That would be smart if they did that. I mean, Ryan Graves to me would be one of the top guys if I'm Seattle I'm going after, but certainly getting Kadri's, Kadri would be a weird fit in Seattle. I just think the market is very sensitive that way. I think that would be.
But I think for a team like that, they can pick up him as a third coach, as a third line, if you talk that. I think for them, it's not like a bad deal for that part over there. I think they have to, at some point, Ron Francis is not going to say, hey, you don't fit for Seattle crowd. We fit for what we did believe, what we have to do. I don't know now, is he fit on the way the head coach, what he's looking for. But I would not be surprised this happening that way. Be honest with you. You're going to see those deals a lot for the next couple of years. I think
you're going to see deals. I agree. I mean, we see already people are saying Seattle should hire Coach Frenchy. Well, it's too late. But actually, Coach Frenchy might, I'll connect you with people I know there because I think there might actually be opportunity in Seattle. They definitely need coaching help. I was a director of coaching up in that area in Everett for a long time, and there's not a lot of coaches up there. Jen Sutton says, "Hi, Coach. We're winning the next 3. Price will stop everything." He's going to have to stop everything, Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of threes, it's game 5 tonight. We know the deck is kind of stacked against them. What are the keys to the game? I think Jen probably hit on the biggest key, which is that Carey Price has to stop everything.
And I think it's not going to be enough.
Yeah.
This is the end tonight, honestly.
Yeah.
Everything go that way, honestly. Now, of course, Montreal can win like anything else. But if you think about this, like I just did make the video where I gave like everything, but Tampa Bay are 13-0, Michael, after a loss. Tampa Bay is 3.46 goal for versus 1.52, I believe, goal again after a loss. Vasilevsky is 13-0 with a save percentage 9.45 and 1.46 again after a loss.
Yeah,
so
tough.
When you look about this, now this is all the way right there, right? So that will give you an idea what it is. What I like for what John Cooper is really good to listening him after a game or before the game. He's really, really calm. And everything like that. What after the game number 4, he just said, that's all right. We play a great game, but the puck was not on our way, and we hit the post three times. And sometimes you lose those games like that. So he was not like upset about the game. They knew they dominate most of that game again. They should win that game, but sometimes you lose those games like that. And I don't know, Michael, you can be unlucky always like another time like that, right? So I think that's what the feeling, the confidence they have over there. That's what I feel like is going to be really, really hard for the Montreal Canadiens to beat Tampa Bay at home. First of all, they are 8-0 at home right now, so did not lose. Montreal is, Michael, 0-8. I'm sorry. Montreal is 0-8 in Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
the last 8 games. So if you think about that, they have to beat a team of 13-0, and then you have to beat a team, you lose the 8th game, and then you have to go from a crowd what he'll expect to win the Stanley Cup, and everything like that. So this is the biggest challenge they never faced so far, the Montreal Canadiens. Now, Of course, Carey Price can stop everything, and as the fans like I am for the Montreal, I hope we can win. But when you look about all the details, and by the way, Killorn is out tonight. That's I
Yeah.
was confirmed. He wasn't at the
That's one
practice
thing.
this morning. Um, Well, was expect to see him last game, but he did not show up. So I don't know what's going on with that. But so when you think about all those stuff like that, that's become very difficult for Montreal to come back and win those games, right? So I think for that it will be something. Hello, Coach Michael, Canadian John, welcome back. Um, has not been the same game 1 and 2. Hamilton Effect should be a team also. Um, so that's make difficult for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, on the flip side, um, imagine, Michael, if Montreal win now and now we go game number 6, all the momentum shifting. Now, all the because Tampa Bay right now are not nervous. They are not like an urgency to win. They are not like, oh my God, we have to win, right? Because they feel like they are what they're supposed to be. And their mind, that's what it should be. Win game at home, game number 5, Stanley Cup. They did not celebrate last year, Michael. They win in the bubble. Yeah, nobody last year.
Yeah,
So they
the
have an
fans were not
opportunity
a
right now
factor.
to be at home. They have a
Yeah.
great opportunity to have 20,000 people. They have the opportunity to have people outside and they become the big over there, right? So at the end of the day, I think that's become great for them to be that at that position, everything like that. So Montreal have to be stepped up over there for sure. Um, so that will be something they have to step up and to find a way to beat the Tampa Bay. Where I believe the last game Montreal, great they win, but Tampa Bay have more chance to score. The shot was 34-21. You know, they was very well. So Tampa Bay have not a bad game so far since the beginning of that series. And 5 game, they play well, they be great. And every time that they miss Killorn versus Key a little bit lower for the last 2 games. Price pick it up the last 2 games. Every time that. Be honest with you, me. If I was Dominic Charm this morning, and I'm not Dominic Charm, and I know 99.9 people who said we don't change the roster. If I was Dominic Charm, I would bring back Kokanemi tonight, Michael.
Really? Over Evans? Because I thought Evans played really well.
No,
Or
over
Byron.
Eric Stahl.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason why, Michael, is this part. You know the impact of what Romanov, Evans, and Kolak did? Spy plug the team. They really involved. They will, Michael, those 3 guys, they will give everything for the team. My point with Kokanemi is this part. He will be back. He's not pissed off right now, Kokanemi. He's not like upset about that, right? It's just like it's a normal process right now. Eric Stahl, Michael, at the end of the day, he don't give you anything. He don't give you something. It was going to be the guy is going to make its fans tonight to give a chance to Montreal to win. Secondly, if you're losing 2-1, Michael, the 3-1 at the beginning, the second period, or middle of the second or third period, what do you do at that moment? You shortcut your bench. You're not going to play 4-line anymore. You're going to cut everything. So 8-minute Eric Stahl or 8-minute of Kokanemi, you really believe is going to make a big difference? He does play on power play style, right? He play, but not he make a difference. He's not a guy on PK. If it's not like that, and I think that will show to Kokanemi, hey, we're going to for the future on their way with him. Stahl is going to be out at the end of the day. Now, if it was a third line or second line, I can understand that. But the impact of Kokanemi back in the lineup is going to be another lights inside. It will give you the best 9-10 minutes of his life because he's back tonight and he will give a chance to Armia because Armia works well with Kokanemi. And I feel that way would be something like that. I think that would if I was Duchamp, I will go that way over there. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to bad feeling. If Eric Stahl is upset about that, he's not going because he understands what's coming anyway. So I think it will be a good move from Dominic Charm about that one over there. I don't think so he will do
I
it.
didn't expect that name for sure because this could be his last game, right? Like you never know. Like is Eric Stahl going to come back and play next year? It's a real question mark anywhere.
He's not going to go anywhere anyway, right? He's not going to go to stay in the game to play a game. He will go if it's a good fit for him. I believe he's a really become a dad, a father, a family, everything like that. And I think he have other option or back where he want to be with his family. They will be accept that. I think it's more like a guy like Eric Starr like now is feel like more like Jason Spezza does with the Toronto Maple Leaf. That's what I believe it will happen also for him if it's the case. I will not see him to go around like Florida or to go to Anaheim or everything like that. It's not like that what he's looking for. He make a ton of money. So at those when he get 35, 36, Michael, they're looking for the quality, not the other fact. It's
He's
the
going to want an
quality right
opportunity to
now.
win.
Yeah. So
He
I
kind of
think
got
what
that in
he'll be-
Montreal, right?
But again, and that said, you have to do it. But me, I would think a lot about Kokanemi, about that one over there. Now, Montreal, the only good news about Montreal, Michael, I don't think they play their best game yet. I don't think they play the same great game they play like they did against Vegas, everything like that. So still have another step to go up. They still have another edges they can add. And that if they get that tonight, I believe they can win that way. But like I just mentioned about everything else, they have to face to a 13-0. They have to face, they lost the 8 game over there. They have to have Carey Price to be unbelievable to do that. And I think the key right now, what we at, it's not Suzuki's going to make its fans. It's a Likonen, a Biron, a Perry, Armia. So
They
what I'm
have to make
talking
it
about,
ugly.
the bottom 6 right now have to elevate their game because right now the Zuski, Caulfield, right, Anderson, and then that top line on the win beat right now the Tampa Bay is the bottom 6 of Lightnings beat Montreal right now with the 3rd line and the 4th line, the Maroon goal, the Coleman goal, the Codero goal, right? So my point here is like if Montreal can square those lines at the bottom versus the bottom Lightnings, that's give more chance for Montreal to win. And that's what's going to be at the end of the day. Now, it can sure Khrushchev can get 3 points tonight, and Brandon Point have 2 goals, and then it's over, right? But at the end of the day, and also they play in Tampa where Duchamp cannot figure out with Dano.
He doesn't have the last change, right?
Yeah.
So I think the change is a big deal. I think his matchups have been so key.
And the last thing I would add, Michael, it's funny you said that, but the biggest thing tonight is the first goal. Montreal cannot win when they
both of them as the key.
Montreal cannot win when they don't score the first goal. And where you at right now at that situation, game 5, 1 game to win the Stanley Cup, anything like that, and you play at home, if Montreal score, you not only right now take the lead, you just shut down the people inside the building to not set anything until you don't. So until they can
got to put a little
square or lead, they will be better for Montreal. If they're losing 1-0 and they give a goal the first 5-6 minutes, it's over.
So Adam asked, how did Toffoli look at the Leafs practice?
Listen, I can't wait me. I don't want to say that, but I can't wait this is over. I can't wait to hear who is hurt. And I believe
everybody, Pierre.
Toffoli have something we don't know yet with Gallagher and Petrie and Weber.
I think Gallagher's never been right. I think he came back just because. Toffoli, I don't know anything specific, but I think it's just a bigger issue that they don't have someone to set him up. They need that other playmaker, and that their success has been based on matchups, right? Like that's the real key. Is Dano is so key because he's taken out pieces of the puzzle. And again, like if you can keep a point off the board, it's gonna be a lot tougher without the last change. But maybe you'll just keep Dano out there 24/7.
Montreal win tonight, Michael. I believe if Montreal win tonight, it's because Toffoli is on the score sheet.
I was gonna say, I think I would not be surprised if you get him on the score sheet the way Anderson did. That'll be the key. They need to have that clutch type goal from someone that has been really quiet.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm sorry. Of course, price have to be price, right? But I think after that, exactly right, where someone did not get there for sure.
All right, so we have lots of predictions of 4-1. Glenn, I think, had several predictions that were similar. Let us know in the chat what your predictions for tonight's game are. We certainly hope. I called the series as a 4-2 series for Tampa, so that would mean Montreal's got to win tonight, Pierre.
Oh yeah, no choice. Tomorrow is over.
They have no
So,
choice.
it's not like next week, right?
Yeah. Hello to the Canadian Giant, who I don't know if we got to acknowledge before. James Brown. I didn't notice we have James Brown in the house. I don't know if this is like I Feel Good James Brown or another James Brown.
Oh my
Canadian
God.
Giant says one shift at a time. Canadian boy, Afro's bitten. He says, what about those Habs? Have them exactly where they want them. We're going to find out. And then we answered to that Killorn is out to Bud the Monkey.
Yeah, he was not at the practice this morning. The funny thing is, Michael, he was at the practice game number 3.
To Foley?
Now, Killorn.
Oh.
And then his hockey stick was in the rack before the game. And he did not play. But now, this morning, game number 4 is not on the practice. Now, it's optional this morning. It was not like a regular practice. So, we'll be interesting. For Ryan, we know he's supposed to be out.
We have some. Steve was in there. He says the Canadians winning 4 in a row against the defending champs is extremely tall order. For sure, it's going to be very difficult. Chainsaw Man says, I would like to see Gallagher score tonight. It would help a lot. And I agree. It's got to be either Toffoli or Gallagher or someone that's been really quiet.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that are, you expect to score here and there. Hugo says, I have a channel. Well, let us know what your channel is in the chat. And then he had said hi before. So Bud the Monkey is predicting 4-2 for Tampa. I think that's more likely. I hope we don't see a blowout. I hope
on the video I predict 4-1 Tampa with an empty net.
Wouldn't surprise me. And then Glenn had said 4-1 for the Habs, and we had another 4-1 earlier from Canadian boy Afro's bitten. Very good hockey teams from players all over the earth. I don't know. Yeah, there are. We're seeing teams pop up everywhere, aren't we? All right, Pierre. I don't know much more we can say. Is there anything else that we haven't touched on that we think for the game? What's the schedule for tonight?
Tonight we go back with a pre-game at 7:30. Honestly, was very well yesterday. Last night was good on the expansion draft for the Washington, Calgary, and it was Dallas Star. Honestly, Dallas Star have a big decision to go with. I think, I don't know. What do you go, Bishop or Kudubin?
I mean, Bishop is a real problem right now. If you can get rid of that contract, do it. Kudobin's obviously not a long-term goalie, but I don't think Bishop's any better. Bishop has had a lot of struggles with injuries, like consistently.
That's the only problem you have because his contract is very low. It's only $4 million. So he's really affordable about that one over there. I think they will offer more Kudubin to, here's my point to you. I don't think so. The Seattle want Kudubin.
I don't think they would. I think you could expose either of them, and they're not going to take them. They might take Bishop.
My cause is this part. If you are GM right now, do you prefer Bishop or Kudubin?
I don't like either. I mean, I think
if you have a choice between both of them,
they're both flawed, right? Like Bishop is never ever healthy. I mean, it's not just a 1-year thing with him.
For me, if you offer Bishop around the league versus Kudubin,
sure, obviously Bishop is
going to get that one. So at the end of the day, you don't lose almost anything if you send Kudubin on the no protection list. So that would be the first.
No, I think that's the play.
You keep Bishop. Then I think Ottinger is ready to play, but he can keep him 1 more year at the bottom, and then after that, they open up for what's going after that. Now, the biggest problem they have right now is Ollie Shack. They're going to lose Ollie Shack, unfortunately, and they have to sign Dickinson with, oh my God, Kirivanta, and have another one. And they have only $6 million to go over there. So they are limited. They cannot resign Ollie Shack, unfortunately. They have to lose him. So he'll go be another one, I believe me. The next 5 days, Ali Check is going to be traded to a team to get a third or fourth round pick. And that team gave a chance to negotiate with him. And this, for me, the Florida Panthers should do that.
The Florida Panthers should do who? Should grab
Steve Alishek from the Dallas Stars.
Alexiak. Yeah, he would be a great fit in Florida.
Yeah. I think that would be the good one about that one over there.
There we go. So they're going to protect Lindell, Klingberg. Who's the other one?
Eskinen.
I don't think they have to protect him.
Oh, you have to. Oh, yeah. You have 2 full years.
Because he's restricted?
No, he's yeah, but he's going to get
a played it, but he's
going
restricted.
to be a great contract, 3 years, $6.5 million.
Yeah, they have to protect him.
So they get that one over there. They have to expose Ali Shack over there, and that's what they have. On the flip side, they're going to protect ends with those 3 guys, Pavelski, and then over there. I think you're mute, Michael.
Sorry, trying to drown out the background noise. So Lindell, Klingberg, and Heskinen, which to your point exposes, but Alexiak is unrestricted, so they would have to come to a contract with him before they
pick who?
Him. Jamie Alexiak is unrestricted free agent, so they would have to sign him and then pick him.
For yeah.
So if they don't come to an agreement with them, then
RFA is not too dangerous, right? Saddle don't go to touch them. It's like kind of for a sheet, right?
No, but do they can't pick a UFA. They would have to sign him and then pick him. Is that how that would work?
No, they can pick. They're going to be like 3 days. They can pick any UFA in NHL. If they pick one, they become the players from the team. So they're not going to expose anybody else after that. So if Seattle pick Alishek, you offer him a $3 million, he sign, he accept. Now that's the player.
They would have, like, if Alexiak says, no, I don't want to sign, they're not going to pick him.
They're not going to pick after. So they have a chance to talk to him for 3 days.
Right. No, I get that. But he could still say no.
Of course he can say
which
no.
Which is the strategy I think a lot of these GMs are using.
But that's the you're afraid is a good thing for them, right? Because they're afraid to say, no, I'm not going to say yes. I'm going to wait the 28. And now we have about 17 can want me. And then maybe I would say back to you, yes, Seattle.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Do you think they'll expose Faxa? Maybe not, right?
Who?
So they should be. You think they're going to go 7-3, right? So you got Sagan, Ben, I assume Pavelski and Faxa, Hins, and then you got Guryanov.
And then you have Como.
They probably
what happened there is not really Como. It's going to be they're going to resign Dickinson.
Yeah.
All right. And then they let it go. Darling is UFA. Yeah. And then Camano is not there. And then they have another one you missing there because he's not on the list. Kerry Vanta because he's on injured. Yeah. So he's going to get there also about that one there. That was 7 there. So they expose like Como, Cagliano is a UFA, and they have maybe a downlink over there. Yeah, that's what I point like the Bishop or that one over there.
It's going to be interesting. I look forward to going through all these lists because I've been just hitting random, and I keep seeing, for example, like the one player that I keep seeing exposed that I don't know if he will be Dumba. I can't see them exposing Dumba, but they have salary problems in Minnesota. You would think they would work out a deal if they're going to move him.
Which one?
Well, I was thinking of Minnesota specifically. So if you look at, we haven't done Minnesota yet, but this is a weird situation, right? Like I could see them expose. They have to protect these 3 guys. Do you protect Dumba?
That's the one where I mentioned where they will figure out like kind of give a trade pack or something like that. So they will have to find out. Now the chance they got pitch that at 700, they will sign back Fiala. So Fiala's not going to get nowhere, honestly. So the Minnesota situation, I believe they're going to lose Carson Soucy. If I was Ron Francis, I go with Soucy.
Yeah, I mean, if Dumba's exposed, I'm grabbing Dumba, but I think you're right. They'll have to try to work.
Well, the private Dumba, Michael, now you're stuck for 5 years at $6 million. And I think I'm not going to play with that level at that one. I would prefer to get 1 year or 2 years Giordano and to have that kind of leadership, everything like that, and to build with Carson Soucy, our defenseman 4 and 5.
But Dumba's still, he's only 26, Pierre. He's had some injury problems, but when he's healthy, like he's a 40, 50-point defenseman.
I don't feel he would be my defenseman number 1 and 2 for $6 million. I think I can find someone better overall at that kind of money. And I say I'm not.
He feels like a number 3 to me, but you're right.
But that money, that's my problem at 26. What kind of player it is? At that situation with COVID-19, bridge contract. Now we should have a contract. I would prefer to give $8 million, Michael, at Doug Edmonton, get Tampa the $6 million on the $8 million to Edmonton.
I think Seattle is going to probably play closer to the floor than the ceiling of the cap. So they'll probably, I think that they're going to be challenged to get to the top end. I could see them. Yeah. Not that they're going to be short on money, but I think just looking at the draft, that's what's going to happen the first year. I mean, so I don't think picking up 6 will hurt them. And I like that.
Get there at the bottom 6, so we on that. So we have a couple of players there we don't mention right now. It could be that kind of players.
Our friend Blake Wheeler fan has joined us. Hola, Blake. We have not talked to you in a while. Bud the Monkey was asking about what do we think the extension for Fiala will look like?
That's a good question. He's 24 years old. You gave $5 million at Erickson, and I think Fiala is the same kind of player, a little bit better or same. So expect if you want to be there. So I'm not sure if Fiala wants this. I believe more Fiala will accept a 3 years contract at $5 or $6 million, Michael. But that will make that team to let go Tampa. So that it's a 1 or the 2 there. About that one over there. It's 24 or maybe in 2 years, give him a $5 million 2 years contract. Like, look what Barzal got. That's why you have to go with Fiala.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get him for that, that would be great. It's his last.
If I'm Fiala, I go 2 years, $5 million. Because
then he's
Minnesota you try to get an extra year, right?
Yeah, I think that a longer contract for Minnesota makes sense, but we know they have obvious problems.
But it's not good for Fiala, Michael.
Oh, of course not. It's great if he goes UFA. And
I'm not sure he wants to stay there.
The COVID mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we see guys like Nugent Hopkins signing for less, and that's not what he wants. He hasn't been paid that much. He's been paid like $3 million up to this point, I think.
It was a good trade for Minnesota to get him, by the way.
Very good. That's worked out very good for them. Max Pacioretty scored 24 goals in the regular season. I'm not sure. Yes. Hamilton, Winnipeg, please. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, they need.
You mean to Winnipeg?
They need a guy like him, like that.
Oh my God! Yeah,
he would over there. He would be Hamilton. It could be another one over there, but it's a kind of player they need. And they need better to Josh Morrissey because Morrissey have a lot of money. So if they get something, they have to get higher over there. Talking about trade rumor, Kyle Connor versus Zed Jones.
I don't trade Kyle Connor.
I want to trade Kyle Connor, but you cannot return Pierre-Luc Dubois and Columbus. So.
Yeah, I just don't. I would not make that move. I don't know. Kyle Connor is so underrated. Pierre, the guy's had 4 30-goal seasons.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree with you. I'm not saying you're wrong about that. Like it was just someone mentioned this on the rumor.
Yeah, I could see where that's what my asking price would be for Seth Jones if you know he's going to sign a contract. $8 million for 7 years for Dougie Hamilton. I could see him getting that no problem. He's definitely the cream of the crop of what's out there. He's a consistent 10 to 15 goal
For
scorer.
this year, he is. For this
Absolutely.
year as a D.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think I agree. Winnipeg is a great hockey town, great tradition. It's
I agree with that part also.
Dubois for Mangiapane and Backlund. Ooh. I would think about that. Mangiapane's kind of underrated. Backlund's old.
If I'm Calgary, I would not trade Backlund. I would not. I would not. I'm sorry. If I was Winnipeg, I don't get Backlund. But I was thinking Dubois, Bachin, I think both teams. The problem right now, Michael, is like if you trade Dubois, Calgary don't do anything. They have already a great line with Langholm, with Monahan, and Backlund. So they have almost 3 center really solid over there. And now you add another center over there. You don't increase what you're looking for. You're looking more for now. If you send Kyle Connor, that's changed completely anything. But you not trade. Calgary have to trade a center to improve their line. That's what they have to do.
2 last things. I see Seattle being a pretty good team. I think Vegas showed that depth, and we see it over and over, depth in the NHL is probably more important than having big star names at the top of your lineup. And they'll have, every time I go through the expansion draft, Pierre, they end up with a lot of extra bodies that are very capable of playing. And so I think that's the one thing. The rumors of Matthew Tkachuk wanting out.
Yeah, there was mention about that, but there's those kind of rumor. I don't believe it. Like it's always been there. Or he want to be with his brother or some stuff like that. But I don't see Calgary to trade Tkachuk.
I can't see Calgary trading him to Ottawa unless they get Stützle back. I wouldn't. I don't know if I would do that. Maybe you would. 1 more year for the Dubois contract. Yeah, and then that's why I think you move it. I think he's shown
I believe he's going to have a better year next year. Maybe. I think they're going to find out Stachy is out, I believe. Yeah. So he's going to become the center number 2. He's going to be behind Mike Sheffley. I think he's going to be back where he's supposed to be. I just feel like he's going to have a better year next year. What the people are thinking.
Yeah, he was certainly disappointing. Brady Tkachuk for Matthew Tkachuk. I don't think.
He could not do that, right? Because now you talk about someone is only 20 years old versus 25, 26, and I think it's not. What's the point for
97? Is that what's Matthew? Is he a 97 birth year?
Yeah,
they're not going to trade them. The whole point is to unite them.
Yeah, I don't see that about that one over there.
So he's a 23-year-old versus 19, 20. Yeah.
Yep, and I think I know Adam is really about Vegas, but I look Vegas this morning. I don't see any change, Michael, over there. They have $6 million. They have to resign no check and another one for the bottom over there and Martinez. So I think they're going to give a 3-year contract to Martinez at 4.5, and then they're going to sign back. They keep Fleury. The owners, Michael, love Fleury. He loves his goaltender. I don't see anymore they're going to trade them, and they're going to say, you know what, let's move on with Martinez, keep Martinez, and they're going to maybe get Jean-Marc. And Jean-Marc going to get a $1.5 million, $2 billion. They have enough money to get both of them. And they have 13 forward, what they have already. And I think there'll be, I don't see anything else in Vegas.
All right, let's wrap up with this final thing, which is, Frenchy, you're announcing the game is on par with Foster Hewitt and Danny Gallivan. I think that's a great compliment.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I need to get more from Doc Emery, but I'll get there.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to having you on the live stream tonight. Thanks, Coach Frenchy. Great job as usual. I'm excited about the game tonight.
All right, guys. Have an amazing, great Wednesday. I'll see you tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time. Go Abs, go. Thank you, everybody.